6 minutes to Meltdown, by user Braham9927. Just had this call a few minutes ago and thought I would share it. Me, thank you for calling the IT help desk. This is my name. Can I have your name and ID number? Customer, I have a meeting in 6 minutes and there is no link. Me, thank you, can you please give me your name first, I will need to look up your account. Customer, the meeting number is random string, can you just sign into my computer and fix it? Me, can you first give me your name and badge number please, I do need that. Customer, gives phone number but not her name. Me, no, I need your name. Customer, it's customer's name. Me, and your ID number please. Customer, I don't see why this matters. Me, ma'am, it's a number associated with your account that I can use to look you up in the system and create a ticket. Customer, it's ID number. Me, thank you, now you said you were missing the link, correct? Customer, are you an expert in Outlook? Me, well ma'am, Customer takes another call that lasts about a minute and a half. I'm just about to disconnect when she hangs up. Me, ma'am, I understand you are in a hurry, can you give me the computer so I can sign in to see what is happening with the Teams meeting? Customer, this is taking too long. Hangs up. That time I got finessed by my coworker, by users Iraq. I've been out of IT for a while now, but one of my friends is dealing with a cloud strike issue that brought down his whole company, going on 2 weeks now. It has me reminiscing about good, old days. Back at my last job I had a coworker who was, to be honest, lazy. He was a good dude, always left a room with everyone smiling and laughing but didn't do anything he didn't have to do. Anyway, Dan, as he will now be called, stopped by my office looking for a 50 feet Ethernet cable. We generally didn't need cables that long and didn't keep a lot of them on hand, so I asked why he needed it. He decided to show me since the office he was hooking up was right down the hall. We walk into a rectangular office with a printer in the bottom left corner and 1 PCs in each of the upper corners. Problem was there were ports in the upper corners and the bottom right corner. Dan was going to run a 50 FTER all the way around the room clockwise to the port in the bottom right, to avoid the door to the office. Now I explained to Dan we don't need to hunt down a 50 feet cable, we can get away with using short cables if we go from the printer in the bottom left to the port in the upper left, from the PC in the upper left to the upper right, and from the PC in the upper right to the bottom right. Dan didn't get it, so I explained it again. Dan still didn't get it. At this point I just said, you know what Dan, I'll take care of it. As soon as I said that he had a huge grin, shook my hand and was gone before I could say another word, leaving me standing in that office with its soon-to-be occupants staring at me expectantly. I instantly knew Dan had played me and I walked right into it. I wasn't even mad, I admired his commitment to the bit. Wherever you are, Dan, I hope you are still playing junior techs for the fool. Don't want PC/domain passwords after upgrades? Okay, watch what happens, by useroing Kai Confidence. About 10 years ago I, working for an MSP, get assigned a project to modernize a small family manufacturing company of about 15 people, about 8 in the office plus roughly the same number of shop employees. They're getting new PCs, Windows 10, Office 365, better internet service, server upgrades, network and Wi-Fi, and so on. Easy enough given the size, and a pretty enjoyable project all in all. Of course, here's where it deviated from the norm. I go on site to meet with the business owner, the lead brother in this family-led company, to get the project scope defined and establish time frames. Among other project-related things, he also said, oh, and I want everyone to not have to have a password. They had a small Windows domain with Active Directory. I said, my dude, not only can't I in good faith not have you have a password for your accounts, but our policy as a company wouldn't permit me to do that anyway. It wouldn't be a good look. After some back and forth, the owner agreed to let us assign correct, appropriate passwords to their accounts as part of the project. Okay then, problem solved. The project goes really well, we install new hardware, PCs, and all equipment as intended. The owner was actually quite pleased with how things went, and gave we on-sitters a gift card for a free lunch. Once wrapped up, I turned over day-to-day management of this customer to our help desk staff and moved on as per usual. About a year or so later I see a ticket come across our system. Apparently, shortly after the project was done, the owner spent some time Googling how to adjust their password complexity and requirements, and did so. Then he reset everyone's password to something simple like password or 12,345, including the domain admin account, and went about his merry way. But unbeknownst to him, his nephew, a complete Nepo hire, had downloaded a different PDF viewer on his PC, but when it did nothing he didn't think anything of it. Instead of being the new Adobe, Johnny's PDF viewer was actually ransomware, running in the background, trying to brute force spread to the rest of the network. They came in one morning with the dreaded "Your PC has been locked" in big red screens across all their office PCs. The fallout kind of sucked, I heard. Their accounting data was in the cloud, but all their manufacturing prints, documents, and plans were ransomed. Individual user data was in OneDrive, but they were scared of SharePoint, so all shared and design docs they left on-premise. They had backups, we tested them during the project, but got lazy about checking them and lost half a year's worth of new data and revisions. All PCs got reloaded, server got restored from an old backup, and correct length, complex passwords were assigned to everybody. Since it's a small private company, I'm sure they never divulged or shared this with their customers or vendors, but now you know. It feels like the more sophisticated technology becomes, the less willing people are to even do the bare minimum. By user Elegant Winner 6521. Client, we understand that there is a manual function to attach documents to invoices when our client hasn't uploaded one. In this case, we'd want to attach proof from the email confirmation from our client that the invoice is authorized. Can you assist? Me, sure, you just take a screenshot of the email and upload using the Add Image button. Client, screenshot? You mean print screen? Me, yes, so just take a print screen. You can use Snipping Tool or Greenshot or a similar app to do this easily. Then just upload that image against the invoice. That way you just have a nice snapshot of the email the client sent over. Client, is there some way we could automate this so that we don't have to convert the email into an image format? It seems like an extra step that is unnecessary. Automate. There's that ing word again. We want to automate manual ad hoc scenarios when our standard automatic process doesn't work. Can't wait to develop a way to attach .ml files automatically and then later listen to the client complain that there's just too much fluff in these files and they really just need a snapshot of the email. Curiosity is punished immediately, by user Jasky. I currently work at a small company building very specialized servers. My main job is actually physically assemble the machines and set them up, including parts of quality control. As I am still in training, not specialized at all, and it is also a very small company, I also became the de facto administrator for our ticketing system. I overhear chatter of a customer having trouble with their machine and asking for assistance fixing it. Not super unusual, but it's a slow day and I enjoy working on problems. So I snoop around for the ticket. It's titled roughly "Trouble Finding Hard Drive." Okay, I think to myself, is it not recognized by the system, not formatted properly? I scroll further, and indeed, the drive being not recognized by the machine was the original error. Sadly, this was also the drive containing the system partition, with all the headache this brings with it. A little further scrolling, and I am greeted by horrible tech gore. The customer had taken it upon himself to disassemble the server entirely. He had stripped it down almost as far as I get it when I start installing components. All because he had been looking for the drive. The environment, far as I can tell between the strewn parts, doesn't exactly look like dedicated work surface, you know, anti-static mats or something. In the customer's feeble defense, he was looking for a NVMe drive that is directly on the motherboard. He had disassembled a partition of heatsinks that could house those, and found only empty slots. The foil still on the pads of the heatsinks probably telling him that he was looking at the wrong spot. This is when he finally relented and asked. Had he consulted the manual, available in something like 20 languages, he would have found that NVMe slot 1 would have been easily accessible, under its own little heatsink. I am slowly becoming scared of our customers and the things they will do to these machines. Confused face.